Welcome back to the BookCast. Today we are unpacking every layer of the incredible novel Uncle Tom's Cabin. Get ready for a deep dive into its characters, themes, and the hidden meanings behind the story.
Absolutely. It's a book that, well, it shook the world, didn't it? And there's just so much to get into.
There really is. We're starting this deep dive by looking at how the novel sets the stage right from the beginning. It talks about this huge, almost global context of suffering.
It brings up unhappy Africa,
Yeah.
saying it began the race of civilization way back.
In the dim, gray dawn of early time. That's the quote.
Right. But then, tragically, it has lain bound and bleeding at the foot of civilized and Christianized humanity. It's quite the indictment from page 1.
It really is. It's not just history. It feels like a direct moral challenge to the reader, even now, setting up this huge drama.
And what's really fascinating is how Stowe immediately offers a counterpoint, a glimmer of hope, maybe. It suggests that maybe the heart of the dominant race is turning towards mercy.
Like a potential turning point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it frames it as nobility, saying it's far nobler to protect the feeble than to oppress them. So it's not just a story about suffering, it's pushing for a moral shift right away.
It positions the whole narrative as this urgent call to conscience, doesn't it? Slavery isn't just economics, it's framed as a deep spiritual failing.
Precisely. A profound ethical problem laid bare from the outset.
And then, bam, it zooms right in. From this huge global picture to a really painful personal situation, we meet Mr. Shelby.
Right, Mr. Shelby. Described as of high class, someone you wouldn't necessarily expect to be caught up in the dirtiest parts of the slave trade.
But he is. He's struggling with debt. Serious debt.
And that debt pushes him towards this absolutely heartbreaking choice. It puts a supposedly good man in an impossible position.
Which immediately complicates things, doesn't it? It's not a simple good versus evil narrative from the start.
And that's crucial. It shows how the system itself, the institution of slavery, could trap even those who thought they were decent. Economic pressure was immense.
So Shelby's caught. He knows Tom, Uncle Tom, is exceptional.
Oh, absolutely. He sees him as deeply Christian, totally trustworthy, his best hand.
There's that story about the money, right? How he trusted Tom with a lot of money.
Yeah, $500.
Mm-hmm.
A huge sum back then. Sent Tom on business. Tom could have easily escaped to Canada. People urged him to.
But he didn't. He came back with every cent, driven by his faith.
Exactly. Shelby knows this. He respects Tom. But the financial bind, it forces his hand.
And then you get that line from Haley, the trader. It's just chillin'.
Oh, that line gives me shivers. I've got just as much conscience as any man in business can afford to keep.
Just a little, to swear by as to our, wow.
It's devastating, isn't it? It just lays bare how profit, how business could completely warp morality, turn people into, well, commodities, expendable.
That cold calculation where human worth just gets erased by debt, and that leads straight to the bargain itself.
The actual deal. Shelby offers Tom first. This man he trusts implicitly.
And Haley, he just pushes for more. So casually.
Right. A boy or gal that you could throw in with Tom, like adding an extra sack of potatoes.
It's brutal. The casualness makes it even worse. People as just extras, interchangeable parts.
And that's the core injustice right there, isn't it? Human beings as currency. Tom's value is clear, best hand, Christian, trustworthy, brought back that money.
Selling him is already a massive betrayal.
A profound betrayal,
Yeah.
and then demanding a child on top of it.
Yeah.
It just strips away all pretense of humanity in the transaction. It's the system in microcosm.
Okay, so from that awful bargain, the story just explodes into action. We meet Eliza.
Eliza, yes. Described with this dark and rich style of beauty, and her son, Harry.
Little Harry with his long curls and rosy mouth. You immediately feel the love between them, but there's this shadow hanging over them.
There is. And Eliza seeks reassurance, isn't she, from Mrs. Shelby?
Yeah, Mrs. Shelby means well, tells her Shelby would never sell his people if they behave.
And Mrs. Shelby is portrayed as genuinely good, high class, both intellectually and morally, with great moral and religious sensibility. Her disbelief is real.
Which makes her powerlessness even more stark later on.
Absolutely. But Eliza,
Yeah.
despite the kind words, she feels it, that intuitive dread. She knows how fragile her world is.
And that dread becomes reality, horribly confirmed.
The moment she overhears them, the traitor talking with Master in the parlor.
Her worst nightmare. It's not just a fear anymore, it's happening. To Harry.
And Stowe describes her reaction so powerfully. First, the breakdown, bursting into tears, sobbing uncontrollably. Pure anguish.
But then something shifts, doesn't it?
Instantly. The despair turns into this fierce resolve. The book says, in such straits, there are no tears to give. It's all action now.
Poor boy. Poor fellow. They have sold you, but your mother will save you yet. That's her vow.
Yes, and she's silent, focused, getting his clothes ready in the dark, just driven by that one thought. Run off with him so the ugly man can't catch him. It's pure maternal power.
It's incredible, and that power fuels her escape. The midnight flight.
She goes to Tom and Chloe first, right? For a brief, desperate moment of refuge.
Yeah, before the big escape. The crossing of the Ohio River, which is just legendary.
But first, that scene in Tom's cabin, it's heartbreaking. And Chloe's reaction.
Lord bless you, I am scared to look at you, Lizzie.
You feel her shock.
Yeah.
And both Tom and Chloe sold him, just lifting their hands in dismay, shared horror.
And Eliza has to explain it through her tears about Shelby's debt, how the traitor had power over him.
How it was basically sell Tom and Harry or lose everything and everyone.
It adds that layer of complexity, doesn't it? The impossible choices the system forced on people, even the owners. Still horrifying, but complex.
Definitely. And then the river, the crossing.
Oh, that scene. Eliza, fueled by desperation, finding the supernatural power, carrying Harry like he was a feather.
Against those odds, it seems impossible.
Stowe paints it so vividly. The sullen, surging waters, the ice on and jiggling, a huge breaking ice flow. And Eliza just leaps from one chunk of ice to the next.
Miraculous. Sam later says, couldn't nobody have done it without DeLord. It's presented as almost divine intervention.
It highlights her terror, her determination, but also maybe something more.
I think so. It's symbolic, too. And Stowe really hammers it home, asking the reader directly, if it were your Harry, mother, or your Willie.
Makes you feel it viscerally. What would you do?
Exactly. It demands empathy.
So back at the Shelby place, the next morning, they realize she's gone.
Mrs. Shelby's first reaction. Pure relief for Eliza. The Lord be thanked. I trust she is.
Her moral compass is clear. It's not about the lost property.
Such a contrast to her husband. Shelby's worried about his honor, the money, and Haley, immediately suspicious, thinks someone helped her.
But then we get Sam and Andy, the unsung heroes of the moment.
Yes. Their ingenious delaying tactics, it's brilliant. Letting the horses loose accidentally.
Causing total chaos so Haley can't get started.
And then deliberately sending him down the worst possible road, that desperate rough track, knowing it will bog him down.
Sam is shouting now for it, catch him, in a way that just makes things worse. It's almost comical.
It is. Haley's furious, cursing, and Mrs. Shelby, listening from her window, can't help but laugh a little, quietly admiring their cleverness.
It's a great moment of resistance, isn't it? Subtle, smart sabotage from within the system shows agency.
Definitely. They're not just passive victims.
Okay, so while Eliza is making this incredible escape, we learn about her husband, George Harris. He's got his own struggle, leading to his own rebellion.
George.
Yeah.
Described as handsome, pleasing manners, but also incredibly smart, a mechanical genius.
He invented something like the cotton gin, which is deeply ironic given what the cotton gin did to fuel slavery.
Hugely ironic. And despite his brilliance, despite being a general favorite at the factory where his invention was used, legally he was not a man, but a thing.
And his master couldn't handle his success, could he?
No. Cure jealousy. Saw George getting praise and decided to crush his spirit. Break him. Put him back in his place.
Just arbitrary, cruel power.
Yeah.
Talent seen as a threat, not a gift.
It highlights the absolute injustice, denied not just freedom, but the right to his own intellect.
And that fuels this incredibly bitter outburst from George. I wish he'd never been born. I wish I'd never been born myself.
You feel his despair. Eliza's horrified hearing him talk like that. His spirit is just being ground down.
And he articulates the injustice so powerfully.
He really does. What country have I? What laws are there for us? We don't make them. We don't consent to them. All they do for us is to crush us.
It's a direct hit against the whole idea of American democracy, isn't it? Pointing out the hypocrisy.
Absolutely. And he backs it up with his own trauma. Remembering his mother and siblings sold off, one by one.
His master kicking his mother when she pleaded. Horrible.
And seeing his sister whipped, feeling every blow himself. It wasn't just physical pain. It was this deep soul wound, violation of family, dignity.
So, fueled by all that pain, George decides he has to escape too. He won't be broken.
He arms himself. Pistols, a Bowie knife, ready to fight.
Down south I never will go. I can earn myself at least 6 feet of free soil, meaning he'd rather die fighting.
It's that absolute resolve. And he has that encounter with Mr. Wilson, the Quaker.
Right. Wilson tries to argue from the Bible, abide in the condition in which he is called.
But George throws the consent of the governed right back at him, uses the language of the 4th of July to expose the why. It's brilliant.
And Wilson is moved, isn't he? Despite being nervous.
Deeply moved.
Yeah.
He offers George money. And George accepts, but insists on repaying it, maintaining his dignity even then.
It's a powerful moment, shows George's strength, his intellect, his refusal to be seen as anything less than a man.
Even in the most desperate circumstances.
Okay, so while George and Eliza are fighting for their freedom in different ways, Uncle Tom starts his journey south. We remember his cabin. Such a place of peace.
That neat garden patch, the welcoming feel, there's a little sanctuary, and Aunt Chloe.
First cook of the neighborhood. Her relationship with young George Shelby is so warm.
Stowe really paints this picture of their family life. The Bible reading, the prayers, the community feel.
The boys, Mose and Pete, adore Tom.
And Chloe's laughter, that hearty guffaw, but also that undercurrent of worry.
The great chicken pie she makes, and then that line about ladies having the heaviest kind of burden sometimes, foreshadowing.
Definitely. It makes the next scene, the morning of the sale, just devastating.
Chloe's grief, just raw, crying into her apron.
And young Master George. He's furious. He loves Tom. He goes to see him, even though Tom's in chains.
Heartbreaking. But Tom, he stays calm, doesn't he?
His Christian faith holds him steady, even amidst the chaos. George wants to fight Haley, knock that old fellow down.
He tries to give Tom $1, a kid's gesture of help.
And Tom gently refuses.
Yeah.
Says angering Haley won't help. He talks about trusting God's plan, its incredible strength.
He really embodies that suffering Christian figure.
Absolutely, even as his world is literally falling apart.
So Tom begins the journey south with Haley, holding on to his Bible.
His only comfort. And they arrive at the slave warehouse, which Stowe describes in a very specific way.
Yeah, it's not some dark, filthy den like you might imagine.
No, quite the opposite. It's clean, they're well-fed, tended to, but purely for market value.
To make them look sleek and strong for the auction, it's a business calculation.
And they deliberately encourage noisy mirth, loud entertainment to stop them from thinking, from feeling their situation, to make them insensible.
It's chillingly efficient, treating people like livestock being prepped for sale.
The auction itself, just brutal. The casualness of throwing in a boy or gal.
The old woman clinging to her son, families torn apart right there. John, age 30, watching his wife sold away.
The woman crying herself to sleep because her mother was gone. Stowe uses these little vignettes to show the constant grinding cruelty of family separation.
It hammers home the human cost.
Definitely. Then the final thump of the hammer. Tom is sold.
And on the boat, there's that encounter with the young exquisite.
Right. Casually looking over Adolf, another enslaved man, like he's inspecting merchandise. The careless yawn.
It's that complete disconnect, the utter dehumanization.
And when he gets Tom's papers, signed by Shelby with a gentlemanly hand, he makes that crack about the country being ruined by pious white people.
So cynical, especially while participating in buying a human being.
It says so much about the moral blind spots.
Yeah.
And this encounter leads Tom directly to the St. Clair family, a whole new, complex environment.
Right. The St. Clairs in New Orleans. A very different world. Indulgence, philosophy, and Eva.
Gus and St. Clair, wealthy, educated, sort of languidly philosophical, and his daughter Eva, angelic Eva.
She's only 5 or 6, but she connects with Tom immediately.
And it's her insistence that makes St. Clair by Tom her reason. I want to make him happy. Just pure empathy.
Sets her apart right away, doesn't it?
Completely. St. Clair himself is fascinating. He sees the wrongs of slavery. He can talk about them eloquently, but he's paralyzed by this. Cynicism, inaction. His past heartbreak seems to fuel it.
He's aware, but unwilling or unable to act decisively. A tragic figure in his own way.
Very much so. A symbol of a certain kind of Southern intellectual paralysis.
And into this household comes Miss Ophelia, St. Clair's cousin from Vermont.
The complete opposite. All order, system, and exactness. Northern practicality and perhaps rigidity.
And she immediately clashes with the careless freedom of the South, right? The way the household is run.
Oh, yes. Her moral exactness is offended by what she sees as shiftless behavior. She represents that Northern abolitionist view morally opposed, but maybe with its own prejudices.
Especially compared to Marie, St. Clair's wife.
Marie, the hypochondriac, always complaining the servants of the plague of my life, dreadfully selfish, completely self-absorbed.
And Ophelia tries to impose order, like in the kitchen with Dinah, the cook.
Yes, Dinah's unique system, saving onions and old flannel, sifting flour through holes in paper.
And Dinah's reaction when Ophelia tries to change things, Mrs. has spilt lots. It's a clash of cultures, of methods.
It really is. It's about control, respect, different ways of seeing the world. More than just tidiness.
And through all this, Eva is just different. Her connection with the servants, especially Tom.
She has this incredible compassion. The book says she's peculiar, always disposed to be with servants. Highly unusual for a white child then.
Her empathy runs so deep. When she hears about Prue's suffering and death,
She doesn't just cry, she sighed heavily. Like she truly absorbed the pain and her desire to teach them to read the Bible. That was radical.
because literacy was forbidden, seen as dangerous.
Exactly. And she says, it does come very hard on them. I think it's wrong. Such simple, profound moral clarity.
Even small acts, like praising Dodo, make him blush and tear up. The power of simple kindness.
She embodies that pure Christian love Stowe advocates for, untainted by the world's prejudices.
Meanwhile, her father, St. Clair, is stuck. He understands it all intellectually.
He knows it's a monstrous system of injustice. He even says masters made them what they are. He gets it.
But he blames his inaction on laziness.
Yeah. Laziness, which ruins more souls than you can think of. But it feels deeper, doesn't it? Fatalism, maybe. He finds it too much trouble to actually do something.
Even when arguing with his brother Alfred, he predicts the enslaved will eventually rise up and govern you. He sees the future but won't act in the present.
That's the tragedy of St. Clair. Awareness without action. A conscience recognizing wrong but failing to engage.
And then, ironically, he challenges Miss Ophelia to be practical, to take on Topsy.
Right. His test for her. Take this child, Topsy, described as the blackest of her race, seemingly cunning and deceptive. See if your northern principles hold up in practice.
Topsy's background is just horrifying. Never was born, no father nor mother, raised by a speculator for market.
Bred like an animal, utterly dehumanized from birth. No wonder Ophelia is initially repulsed, sees her as a black spider.
It reveals Ophelia's own prejudice, doesn't it? Despite her abolitionist stance.
Absolutely. And St. Clair twists the knife, suggesting Ophelia whip her, saying Topsy's used to that style of operation. Just awful.
But then, Eva steps in.
Eva, the game changer. She sees Topsy not as a problem, but as a person. And she tells her that simple revolutionary thing. But people can love you if you are black, Topsy.
Just pure acceptance, love without conditions.
And Eva's persistent kindness, it slowly breaks through Topsy's defenses. It's not easy. Topsy's deeply wounded.
But Eva doesn't give up, and Ophelia watches this, learns from it.
She does. She realizes she has to change, that she could love Topsy, that overcoming her own unchristian prejudice is her duty.
It's a huge turning point for both Topsy and Ophelia, thanks to Eva's example, the power of that kind of love.
Exactly. Stowe uses it to show the path forward. It's not just laws, it's changing hearts through Christ-like love.
But then the story takes that incredibly sad turn. Eva's health starts to fail.
Yes. As she gets weaker physically, she seems to grow stronger spiritually, seeing visions.
Telling Tom, I'm going there. To the spirit's bright, Tom, I'm going before long. With such certainty.
It's presented as this almost divine insight, and it affects everyone deeply, especially Tom. She seems to understand her death might be a catalyst.
A final message.
Perhaps. A way to break through her father's defenses, maybe, to make him finally act.
And she tries. Her dying wishes to St. Clair, asking him to do right about this, free the slave.
Appealing directly to his love for her. These poor creatures love their children as much as you do me. It's a powerful plea.
How does he react initially?
Denial. Grief. You are all I have on earth. He can't bear the thought of losing her.
But she keeps pushing, doesn't she, with that moral clarity?
She does, giving away the curls of hair as mementos, little tokens of love and her plea for freedom. And then she asks him that question.
You are a Christian, are you not, Papa?
And his hesitation, his doubt, it reveals everything. How her simple faith exposes his complex struggles. She forces him to confront himself.
And it works. He has this awakening, prompted by Eva.
He finally resolves to act. Tells Ophelia no one can claim to be Christian without throwing the whole weight of his being against this monstrous system of injustice. A complete turnaround.
It's a huge moment of spiritual growth for him.
Massive. And his talks with Tom are key. Tom keeps gently guiding him when Masses St. Clair is a Christian.
St. Clair even reflects on that. When will my trouble be over? When Master St. Clair's a Christian. He sees the connection.
He does. He accepts Tom's simple theology. We do's for the Lord when we does for his critters.
Hmm.
Serving God by serving others. Yeah, he finally gets it. Good theology, Tom.
He's ready to do the right thing. He's found his conviction.
He has. And then tragedy strikes. So suddenly.
St. Clair's death, before he can sign the papers, before he can free anyone.
Just struck down. His last word, mother. It's shocking, devastating.
And the timing, the tragic irony, leaves everyone completely vulnerable.
Utterly unprotected and desolate. It hammers home the point that under slavery, everything depended on the master's whim. Even good intentions weren't enough if fate intervened.
It shatters any idea of benevolent ownership providing real security, a brutal reminder of the system's inherent instability.
And it throws the story into its darkest chapter yet.
Yeah, after St. Clair's death, things get much, much worse. Marie takes over.
And Marie. She doubles down on her selfishness. Even more callous after Eva's death, if that's possible.
Decides to sell everyone, except her personal property. Adolf overhears it. The dread returns.
Her lack of feeling is astounding. Dismissing whipping as not cruelty because these creatures get used to it, it's chilling how the system allows people to rationalize such things.
And Tom, sold again, just that quiet despair, facing it all over.
The injustice of it, after everything.
And this time, he's sold to Simon Legree, who is just the embodiment of evil.
Zero cruelty. The description alone, bullet-headed man, huge dirty hands, raw brutality.
And his first words to Tom, "I'm your church now," sets the tone immediately. Absolute, godless tyranny.
Legree is Stowe's picture of what happens when power is absolute and unchecked by morality. His philosophy, use up and buy more.
Cheaper in the end, he thinks. People as disposable tools.
Exactly. He rules by terror.
Yeah.
Tracking dogs, vicious overseers like Sambo and Quimbo, who hate each other but unite in cruelty under him.
It's a vision of hell on earth, his plantation.
The place itself reflects it. Dreary pine barrens, foul air, just an endless, soul-destroying work.
A complete contrast to the St. Clair household, even with its flaws.
Utterly. Designed to break people. But Tom, he resists being broken internally.
That moment when Legree orders him to whip Lucy.
Yeah, the slender woman Legree wants to break. And Tom refuses, flat out.
"I take master's pardon. I can't do it. I never will do a cruel thing, come what may."
It's an incredible act of defiance.
Yeah.
Pure moral courage, knowing what it will cost him.
And it cost him dearly. Sambo and Quimbo beat him brutally.
His first major stand against Legree's evil, and he meets it with unwavering integrity, choosing conscience over safety.
We also meet Cassie on this plantation, a really complex character.
Cassie, yes, haunted by that deep, settled night of anguish. She seems utterly without hope initially, nowhere but into our graves.
Her backstory is so tragic. Children sold, forced submission. Her spirit seems crushed.
And she's lost her faith completely. There isn't any God, I believe, or if there is, he's taken sides against us. Understandable given what she's endured.
She warns Tom, doesn't she, that he'll either give in or be killed by inches.
Reflecting her own experience, she thinks resistance is futile against someone like Legree. She's a powerful contrast to Tom's steadfast faith.
But she's not just despairing, she's also incredibly cunning.
Yes, that plan to escape with Emmeline, using Legree's superstition against him. The haunted garret.
It's brilliant, playing on his fears.
Meticulously planned, moving things around, stocking supplies, creating those ghostly legends to keep everyone away. She understands psychology.
And planning to use the creek to throw off the dogs. So resourceful.
Absolutely. But also shows her desperation. That warning to Emmeline, if you do, I'll kill you, if she faints. Dark, but reveals the stakes. Freedom at any cost.
It's a different kind of strength, isn't it? Not passive endurance, but active, calculated rebellion.
Exactly. A different path to survival and freedom.
Which brings us to Tom's final test, his martyrdom.
Legree demands he reveal where Cassie and Emmeline went. Tom refuses, despite everything Legree has done to him.
Drawing on his faith one last time, into thy hands I commend my spirit.
It's his ultimate defiance, and it leads to that final savage beating from Sambo and Quimbo.
But even then, his response is forgiveness.
Incredible. I forgive ye with all my heart.
And he uses his dying breaths to tell them about Jesus, about redemption.
And it reaches them, Sambo and Quimbo.
It does. His forgiveness, his unwavering faith in the face of death, it breaks through their cruelty. They have this sudden, profound conversion experience.
Wow. His sacrifice has this immediate impact.
As he dies, looking up, his last words are, "Oh, love, joy, peace."
A spiritual victory, even in physical defeat.
Absolutely. His death isn't a failure. It's the ultimate testament to his faith. It exposes Legree's moral bankruptcy and shows the power of Christian love to overcome even the worst evil. It's the climax of his Christ-like journey.
So after Tom's sacrifice, after that darkness, the story starts moving towards resolution, towards freedom and hope.
Yes, young George Shelby finally arrives, delayed by that slow-moving letter. He gets there just 2 days after Tom has died. And he's full of righteous anger, ready to save Tom.
The reunion is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
He finds Tom dying, but Tom recognizes him.
Bless the Lord.
Yeah.
It's all I wanted. They haven't forgot me. Oh, that's just...
He gives Tom peace in his final moments. Now I shall die content. He urges George to trust in the Lord.
George wants to buy him, save him, but it's too late.
Too late. But Tom's sacrifice changes George forever. It solidifies his commitment to ending slavery. He's seen its true face.
And meanwhile, we find out Cassie and Emmeline actually made it.
Yes, the ghost story worked. It's a great contrast, freedom through cunning, not just martyrdom.
And they run into George Shelby later, at a tavern.
Right. Cassie handles herself so well, with an air and manner and evident command of money. She had actually seen George confront Legree earlier from hiding.
So she knew who he was, gave her confidence.
Exactly. Their escape shows another valid path, using the oppressor's weaknesses against him. Resourcefulness.
And then there's another reunion. George Harris finds his sister.
Madame de Stowe, who is Emily. She bought her own freedom in the West Indies and came searching for him. Incredible persistence of family ties.
Which leads to the whole Harris family reunited. George, Eliza, Harry, Emily. A moment of real joy and hope.
It really is. And George articulates this powerful vision for the future, not just staying in America, but looking towards Africa.
Liberia, a republic formed by formerly enslaved people who raised themselves up.
Picked men, he says, with energy and self-educating force. He wants to build something new, guided by Eliza's gentler spirit and faith.
It's a vision of self-determination, isn't it? A powerful answer to the dehumanization they endured. Challenges all the prejudices about their capabilities.
A very forward-thinking idea for the time.
So wrapping it all up, what's the lasting message? How does Stowe leave us? We see George Shelby changed by Tom's death.
Yes, he goes back to his estate, gathers everyone, and frees them. He explicitly says Tom laid down his life for me, and their freedom is a memorial to Tom, an act of justice inspired by sacrifice.
So the novel ends on this call to action, right? Question injustice, act with compassion. What does it mean for us, the readers?
I think Stowe connects it all back beautifully. It's a call to end slavery, yes, but also to examine the nation's soul, North and South. She points directly at the unchristian prejudice of the North, calling it almost as oppressive.
That's a bold challenge to her Northern readers. Don't just condemn the South. Look at your own biases.
Precisely. And she offers proof of potential. Those statistics about formerly enslaved people in Cincinnati succeeding, achieving respectable stations through their own efforts. Proof of the capabilities of the race.
So the novel leaves us with big questions about freedom, humanity.
What true liberty really means, not just legal status, but spiritual and societal equality. And it forces you to ask, what am I willing to do to sacrifice for what's right? And how do my own hidden prejudices contribute to injustice today? It's still incredibly relevant.
It really is. A powerful story with enduring questions. And there you have it. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us and this story. If you enjoyed it, a simple like or subscribe helps the channel out more than you know. Be good and take care.